are in Lake Forest Park. They've got the Lake Forest Park Town Hall right behind me, and I'm at the little mall here, Lake Forest Park Town Center. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about living in the Lake Forest Park area. This is actually the neighborhood that I live in myself. And if you are thinking about relocating to the Seattle area and you're kind of exploring different neighborhoods, this is one that I can definitely recommend, although I certainly don't think it would be for everyone. So I want to get into kind of some of the pros and cons of living in this area. So if we haven't met, it's your first time here, I'm Emily Cressey. I'm your local Seattle real estate agent, and this channel helps people who are doing research, kind of learning about Seattle, primarily because they're relocating to the area oftentimes for jobs. And so it can be hard to buy a house and kind of figure out where you're going to live just by looking at the map or sorting through properties online. You want to actually see the neighborhood too, because that's almost more important than a house. You want to love where you live, you want to have a good commute, you want to have shopping and schools and all of that good stuff. So that's kind of what this channel is about, helping you play matchmaker between the right house in the right place at the right price point. So here in Lake Forest Park, we are pretty much a residential community with a few shopping areas, and one of them is behind me. This is like the place that my kids walk to in the summer to get Starbucks or pizza or ice cream, Subway with their friends. We come here in the winter to go to the little bookstore. There's a food court up there, and then they've got all sorts of retail along here. There's a couple banks, there's a hardware store, there's what else do they have? A foot and ankle clinic, a drugstore, a Planet Fitness gym. So it's kind of a combination of mom and pops and credit tenants, big names that you would recognize. And so this is kind of one of the places, and it feels very safe. I think a lot of kids and tweens and teens come here unsupervised. There's a Ross Dress for Less that my daughter and her friends like to go to as well. And then across the street, right over there, you see the cars, that's the road. And then just on the other side of that is Lake Washington. So there's actually a trail, it's called the Burke-Gilman Trail. It's a walking or biking trail, it's paved and it's flat, which is all too valuable here in Lake Forest Park. And so it goes around Lake Washington. You can go over to Woodinville. There's a lot of bikers that go to Woodinville. It becomes the Sammamish River Trail over there. And then it also goes down around the west side. I'm looking at the map in my mind. It goes around the west side of Lake Washington to the University of Washington. So if you were like commuting to work as a student, or as someone that worked at the hospital at the UW or something like that, you could ride on the trail on your bike all the way there. We had a friend from church who did that on a regular basis, and he's very healthy, really enjoyed it. Yeah, so that trail is a really nice amenity. There's some beautiful homes, lakefront homes that you can see, kind of eye candy situation over there. And then there are parks as well. So down that way, there's Matthews Beach, which is really nice. There's another one, the Naval Station, I'm forgetting, but I have actually videos of going there. It's near Windermere. And then on the other side, right here in Kenmore, kind of Lake Forest Park, Kenmore area, we have Log Boom Park, which is just remodeled. It has a lot of sand and play equipment, and crew teams row out of there. You can rent a boat, really nice. And then further down, other lakes, Lake Washington as well. You go into Kenmore, 10 minutes away. There's St. Edward State Park, which is a huge, hilly, woodsy park with trails down to the beach, and they've got a new hotel there that they made with a bar, and they do weddings and all sorts of fun stuff. So those are some of the amenities here. I'm trying to think of amenities because a lot of this, like I said, is just residential. So I'll show you some footage of driving around here. We've got the lake, so I covered the lake, and the rest of it is pretty much forest. The park, I don't know, we have like small pocket parks here and there, but really it's about the forest. And if you like a home in the trees, it's the evergreen state, you want to live amongst the trees, this is definitely the place for you. There are a lot of hills and even ravines that are very steep that have trees. Sometimes the trees fall down or branches fall down, and we get power outages. One year there was a snowstorm I saw a branch fell off of a tree and onto my neighbor's car, which was terrible. So hopefully he had insurance for that. That's kind of an unusual thing. And then we have really, when it snows, and we don't get, like, this is not Connecticut. We don't get feet of snow. We get maybe a few inches of snow. School is canceled. Everyone stays home, but it's actually really hard to drive places because of the hills. So you're gonna slip and slide, and we usually see a couple of cars that are like bailing out on the hills. They say, "Ooh, you know, I'm sliding, I'm losing traction. I'm just gonna park on the side of the road and not continue on because I don't want to crash my car. It's not worth it." If you're like a doctor and you need to go in for your shift no matter what, you might park your car someplace flat that even when it snows, if that snow is in the forecast, you know that you can like go walking to the flat place to pick up your car and like get it started and have some momentum on the main roads, because they clear out the main roads first. But I would say overall, you don't need to worry too much about snow. It's not a major part of our life here in Lake Forest Park, but the hills do add a complication to it, a complicating factor. So that's just something to be aware of. The other main road is Ballinger. And if you look over here, we're at, oh, let's see. Right there is the intersection with Ballinger Road. So this is kind of goes up a hill and goes through a residential area, and then it leads to the freeway. So along that road, there's some dentist office, and there's another shopping center, much like this one, kind of a low-rise shopping center with some mom and pop food places and a gym. It has the Kumon tutoring place where I make my kids go and do worksheets. I'm a big fan of Kumon. I think it's been very helpful, especially for my son who needed a little more repetition on things. But it has kind of a frowny face on the front as their logo, and I think that that's probably an accurate way of thinking about how kids feel about going there. So anyway, so yeah, there's just kind of these local shopping places with a grocery store as an anchor, and then, you know, some other things around it. But it's not the nightlife place. It's not where you're gonna have a lot of activities, not even a lot of condos or apartments. It's largely houses, and a lot of people who live in these houses stay for a really long time. So they're like, this is it. This is my house where the kids are gonna grow up, and we're gonna be here for 20 years. So I don't see a lot of turnover in this area. Now there are some luxury neighborhoods, again, like I'm pointing across the street toward the lake. There's Sheridan Beach over there, and then kind of down the road and up the hill, there's an associated neighborhood called Sheridan Heights. They are an HOA community. It's not gated or anything. You can drive right through there. I used to drive through there on the bus when I was a kid. I used to drive through there going to church all the time. And it's very nice. They have nice yards, but it's not overly fancy. It's just a little bit nicer than a lot of the other areas here. And so those are good places to look if you want something nice. They also have beach club access. So there's a private Sheridan Sheridan pool with their own swim team and their own pool. It's only for members. And then over here across the street is the Civic Club. And the Civic Club is open to everybody that lives in Lake Forest Park. I think it costs something like $200 or $300 a year. And it's like, if you have a house in Lake Forest Park, you're allowed to join. You're not required to join. They don't have a pool, but they do have a beach access. So they have a nice sandy beach. They have grass, they have picnic tables, they have a little playground area, and they have kind of a clubhouse so you could do, meetings or receptions, weddings, that kind of a thing. It's not overly fancy. It's where the Boy Scouts used to meet for like our end of season jamboree, and we would have like a fire outside on the beach, and then like the bald eagle would fly across at sunset, and it always felt very fun and very special. We also go there sometimes, and I think it's open to the public in the winter. They have, here in Seattle, they have Argosy Christmas ships, which are cruise ships that go around on Lake Washington that are drumming up business during the off season by having Christmas ships. So they put lights on the ship, and I think they blast out Christmas music, and then they drive to different points of interest around the lake. So you can ride it and probably drink hot chocolate and eggnog and hear the Christmas music and go sail around Seattle. Or you can gather at the beaches and the points of interest where the boat is coming, and then it'll stay there for 15 minutes and you can sing along or listen to the music. And you know, we're there with our campfire drinking hot chocolate and stuff like that. So it's kind of a nice community builder type of activity. Also right here in Lake Forest Park Town Center is where the farmers market is. So actually in this parking lot right by City Hall, on Sunday afternoons, I feel like it's Sunday from 10 to 2 or something like that. We'll often see it after church. Then like this whole area is filled up with different vendors. They have vegetable sellers, they have meat sellers, they have cheese sellers, they have honey sellers. I think they might have like 1 or 2 food trucks, maybe 1 live plant seller. They often will have the library come out, so there's a little Lake Forest Park library branch over there that comes out and they sell their used books and things to raise money for the library. And so that's kind of fun. It's small, like it doesn't take that long to walk around the parking lot. But my favorite people that come are usually the flower sellers, who we have tons of flower sellers. They're at every farmer's market and like live event and street fair because the flowers that they have are just gorgeous. They're not cheap. They're maybe $20, $25. I don't know. I don't buy fresh flowers because I'm a little too frugal, but if I were to buy fresh flowers, and I have gotten them as gifts and things, they're just amazing and so pretty, and they just have a beautiful way of arranging them in a big white cone of paper. They're really, really beautiful, and you can kind of customize it. They'll build it. They're building the bouquets right there all day long and then selling them, and so you can kind of watch them do it and be part of the process and say, oh, you know, my mom doesn't like orange, don't put any orange flowers in, and stuff like that. So it's really fun. We're in the Shoreline School District, so we're near Brookside, we're near Animal Acres Park, and then there's another Lake Forest Park Elementary, which is over there on Ballinger Way going up that hill, and then we all funnel into Kellogg Middle School and Shorecrest High School, which I always thought were good. I went there. I always thought they were good when I was there. I don't know if they're considered the best of the best now that we have school ratings and things. I feel like we're maybe in the 7 range or something like that, but still this is known as an area with pretty good schools. It's outside of the Seattle city limits. We're just north of Seattle. We're next to Shoreline. We're kind of the Shoreline's little sister kind of a thing. But it's its own municipality now. I don't think it was when I was growing up. So yeah, we do have the town hall. This is where we go to like get our passports made and get a vote in our drop box. Everybody here in Washington votes by mail or by drop box. There's no in-person voting in the big line at the schools anymore. So anyway, I don't want to make this drag on. I just wanted to give you a little feel for Lake Forest Park. So hope it was interesting. Again, I'm Emily Cressey. I'm your local realtor. If you're moving to Seattle, if you're selling a house in Lake Forest Park, whatever your real estate needs are, whether you're like, I'm doing something tomorrow, or I'm doing something in a year, or I don't even know if I'm doing anything yet. I'm just evaluating my options. I'm always here to help answer your questions, and what I like to do is just have you click the link to jump on a Zoom call, and then we can meet each other in person and talk through things. If that's not comfortable, if you're not there yet, you can always shoot me a text. You can text the word HOME, H-O-M-E, to my number 206-578-3438, and I can help you out that way as well. So whatever you need, I'm here to help. This is the beautiful Lake Forest Park, and I will look forward to telling you more about it and helping you understand whether this neighborhood is right for you or not. If you're considering Lake Forest Park, definitely jump on my videos about Kenmore and Shoreline as well. Those are the adjoining neighborhoods, and take a look at Linwood if you need something that's a little bit less expensive. Okay, thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on another video.